Say hello to everybody. Hello. Hello. I'm Old Man Crash. I have eye boogers. And a cloudy eye. And a grumpy butt. Wazzle wazzle. Hi everybody, welcome back to Friday Night Knits. This is episode 10 and my name is Becky, coming to you from Midland, Texas. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Becky Rae. That's BECKYRHAE. I do have a group on Ravelry. It's Friday Night Knits Podcast. And I'm on Periscope. I watch a few Periscopes. I have yet to Periscope myself, but you can add me there as well. And it's Becky and Homer on Periscope. So, it is Friday, June 24th. And it's been kind of a kooky week around here. My AC's fixed, so it hasn't been a hot kooky week. My husband's been out of town most of the week for a summer institute teaching workshopy stuff. I used to go to those with him quite often, but I've skipped the last couple of years, and I really missed him this week. It was weird. My sleeping schedule got all wonky. The dogs, I didn't want to. I would go to work and come home, and I skipped knitting night this week because I felt really bad to stay gone at work all day, come home for like half an hour, and then let the dogs out for just that half hour, and then put them right back in their pens to go knit for a couple hours. So I one night went to bed really early because I was tired and woke up wide awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 3 a.m. And so I got up. I'm so glad he's home because I don't do that when he's here. So, what else went on this past week? Not too much. Game of Thrones, that's all I'll say. But, so, yeah, it's been a good week, and I got some knitting done. So let's go ahead and hop straight into knitting. As for FOs, I do have one, but I've already mailed it off to Stephen. So y'all know I've been working on my socks for Stephen West, and I finished them Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, I think. Actually, finally weaved in the ends Monday and threw them in the mail to California on Monday because he's going to be teaching a class at a Verb for Keeping Warm. I guess he's doing some workshops there. So I mailed them there, and he'll pick them up there. And I have never been more of a nervous wreck than watching that tracking go from my house to California. I just knocked in my stomach for some goofy reason. So I did take a little video of the socks before I mailed them off. I haven't watched that video yet, so if it's not just horrible, I will throw it in here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pause the video so that I have a spot to put it because I haven't figured out how to do it any other way. So I'll be right back. Stephen's socks are finished, guys. Just a quick video because I'm about to throw these in the mail to him. So I'm going to add this onto the podcast later. They're ginormous. They're very cool. I'm super excited. When I soaked them to block them out, though, the red really bled into the green alien snot. So that made me a little sad, but the Regia Floramania is still super bright. I'm shipping these off to him while he's in California, so hopefully They reach him quickly and I get pictures. Bye, guys. And I'm back. So those were my FOs, the socks for Steven. And then I decided I want to cast on a pair of socks almost immediately. But our Cal, the local Cal, started on Tuesday. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out a sock pattern. But I think I'm going to do some monkey socks. And I'm going to do them with this yarn. This is my friend Jess Roller. Used to go by the handle Milky Robot when she dyed yarn. And then she quit dyeing yarn last year. And she just made a bunch of health changes for herself. And dang if she's not doing good. She's dropped I think she's either like 2 pounds shy of 100 pounds, or she's over 102 pounds lost. But she has been just inspirational in her weight loss. And she just recently said she's going to get back into yarn dyeing, so I'm super excited about it. She's not calling her shop Milky Robot anymore. I'll look it up because I am following her on Instagram, and I'll put it in the notes down here because she's phenomenal. I got this from her. This is one of her club colors last year. She did a 3-month club. I got this. It's called Pom Pom. I got that green right here. She called it Toads or Toad. And then I had one that was a lot of peaches and browns and taupes and stuff, and it was called Peach Pie maybe. And that is in a bag somewhere with some started Blythe sweaters, because we know how I am about Blythe sweaters. And so I'm going to cast on at least those socks. I think I'm going to use the 9-inch circulars for those. And I'm going to try the 2.5. And I may do some stripy socks with a new pattern I found, that new to me anyway. I don't know how old it is, but it's called Espresso Macchiato socks. And it looks really cool with striped socks because it's got some areas that have, it's kind of textured, really cute, has eyelet rows and some garter rows it looks like, or at least pearls. So it might break up socks or stripes in a real fun, funky way. So I'm thinking about those. But what I did cast on for sure this week was the Cassiope. That is the shawl we're doing in our knit along. And I am using Lone Star Arts, the Life on Mars colorway. No, here it is. So, Lone Star Arts, Life on Mars. I want to show y'all how this caked up because it really kind of took me by surprise when I was winding it, how cool it looked. And I didn't know it was going to do this. I don't know if this is intentional, if every skein is like this, but I'm kind of stoked about it now. So, it's this speckled yarn, but if you'll see the speckles in the inside, so it'll be the top of my shawl. It's not as dense in the color and sparkle. And as you get to the outside, more and more color, less cream. So really, really stoked about that. That was a fun color shift. Did y'all see that? So this is where I am. This is not very far along. And it is, I restarted at least 4 times because I kept reading the chart wrong. It's a free pattern, so I can show you this. So it's, if you can see how she has it laid out. So I should have been starting over here and going all along here. And for some dumb reason, I kept just using this other half, just one half of it. So it would look wonky or my stitch would get off, and I'm like, what? Huh? What? And then I finally figured, I caught myself doing it once and was like, oh. And even after I caught myself doing it and knew I had done that, I continued to do it a couple of times. So this gave me a couple of false starts, but now I'm getting into the rhythm of it, and I'm really enjoying it. So again, it's the Cassiope by Alexandra Beck. And it is my local group doing this knit along. We are doing a hashtag MTEX Cassiope 2016. I'll throw that down there as well. If any of y'all want to join in, I'm considering opening a thread on in my Ravelry group about the knit along as well, in case any of you crazy viewers, the 100 of you, want to join in. But I haven't done much lace knitting, and now I think I know why. It's gonna take. It's a good challenge for me. I needed this, so, but it's coming along, and I really like it. And I've been trying to decide on a nice Bowie-esque name for the shawl when it's finished, because it's gonna need that. So that's what I have been knitting. I wanted to talk about Ravelry a little bit before we move on, because this lesson for me came about with me trying to pick a color for this shawl and trying to decide if this Life on Mars would be okay. So I don't use Ravelry for a whole lot. I'm trying to branch out and learn new things about Ravelry. And this is something that I learned just by sitting next to someone at knit night the other night. She was talking about a colorway that she had in her stash. And she said, well, you can look up the way it looks when it's knitted up. And I was like, well, that yarn. And she goes, no, the colorway. So she clicked on the colorway name, which I have already done. So it brought up, well, let me see if I can get this to be not as blown out. So she brought up a page like this that shows people's stash. And if you slide over, because the tab above that has patterns, projects, designers, sources, yarns, stash, which is highlighted. So I'm going to go over to projects. And it's going to bring up this. And now you see how Life on Mars looks knitted up. Blows my mind. I just learned that. I love to share what I learn with people, so I'm sharing with you. And that helped me a lot. I wasn't sure that yarn was going to be great, but I think it'll be fine, especially now how I see the way it's lighter on the inside and there's going to be more color on the edges. The lace on the edge of this is heavier, so I think it'll do better with the color. So, heavier lace? No, it's a chevron, I think, lace. So, it won't be as open and lacy as the top part with So Busy. I think it'll look great. I'm pretty excited. Ooh, excuse me. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's what I'm knitting on. And what I plan on starting this weekend is some socks. It was really nice to have socks to drag around various places. Excuse me. I also plan on starting my sock blanket by next week. So hopefully I'll have a couple of squares on the Cozy Memories to show y'all. Excuse me. My name is Becky, and I've gone 4 days without Coca-Cola. 5 days. Since Monday. That is huge for me. And tomorrow will be the biggest challenge because tomorrow night is game night. and I always have a couple at game night. And I haven't decided if I'm going to skip that for a while and see if I can just cold turkey it, or if Saturday's going to be my cheat day, like horrible cheat day, or I don't know. So I'll probably decide the moment I walk in and sit my butt down in the chair. I've drank more water last week than I think I have my entire life. Really sad to say, but I think that's true. So that's what I've got going on knit-wise. So this is probably going to be a fairly short episode. Don't have a whole lot going on. Let's talk about some new acquisitions, party in my mailbox, all that good stuff. I had these wrapped up earlier, but I've recorded this once already, and then I realized I had to go pick up my husband. So I told y'all I was going to get the new Star Wars mustache yarn. I did. So I did decide to get the companions of Luke and Anakin, and then I grabbed some C-3PO. I still don't have BB-8, but I think I'll be fine without BB-8. We'll see. I may grab it another time if she does it again, or in a D-stash or something. Anyway, so this is the C-3PO. Yum, yum, yum. I just love her little labels with the Star Wars. Perfect sock. Self-striping. Mustache yarns. She's a genius, man. And this is Jedi Mind Trick. Anakin and Luke. Companion. So, you know what, I'm going to show y'all. It's the two 50-ounce skeins, coordinating colors. So this is Anakin with the white and the dark gray, the darker grays, and then the red and the blue lightsaber colors. So that's the Anakin. And here with just a little bit of black, mostly grays, and the neon green and the neon blue lightsabers is Luke. So exciting. She knit long arm gauntlets, just plain. They looked pretty vanilla with these, and super exciting. I don't know what these will be yet. Socks or maybe arm warmers. That'd be pretty nice. I think arm warmers would be more useful than socks, but I don't know. I'm kind of really in love with is it Orange Knits? All of her short socks lately. I could totally see myself knitting up a bunch of short socks. Oh, and I know y'all have seen the way she packages her yarn. She rolls them up like little sandwiches, like sub sandwiches. And she gave me clues on the outside of these. That washi tape was on the outside of Anakin and Luke. And then this one, which was just a light gold color, was on the outside of the C-3PO. So I was like, ooh. I was going to save them and open them up completely with y'all, but I had to see if my hunch was correct on that and peek yesterday when I got these in. And then, like I said, I recorded once earlier today and they were wrapped up. So, okay, so those are my party in the mailbox. Beautiful. Love them. And how cool are those yarns going to look in a cozy memory blanket? So exciting. So, the other day, I took a trip to my local yarn shop. It's called The Stitching Post. And I was looking, you know, kind of for maybe something to put in the giveaway. So I found a few things, and I grabbed a couple of things to put in the giveaway, and I grabbed a couple of things for me. So first thing I found were these cute little sock charms. Can you see that? They're on split rings, which I'm probably going to take them off of those and make progress keepers out of them. But way cute little sockies. So, and they're pretty solid. So I'm going to set that up as a progress keeper to put in the giveaway. And remember, y'all, this is going in the giveaway. So, everything else I found there, I'm trying to find spots for stuff. This is something I picked up while I was in there. This is Manos de Uruguay Alegria. And I grabbed this color for y'all. It is called Atlantico, and it's very seaside-y loveliness. It is so soft. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% polyamide, and it is a very generous 445 yards. So beautiful. Don't want these look lovely together in a package when you get it, if you sign up for the giveaway in my Ravelry group. While I was there, of course, had to grab one of those socks for me, the little charms, and then I found some Manos for me. This color is called Carnival. Lovely pinks, orange, purples, yumminess. I just want to eat it. So, I love these colors. My hair was almost this color once. So, that is all of my crazy goodies. So, that brings me to the giveaway. I opened a thread on Ravelry last week because I have over 100 subscribers here on YouTube. So only 10 people have posted on there so far. So I'm going to hold it open another week, which means you have an opportunity to go over and join the group and answer the prompt, which is what's your favorite cast on and or cast off. So hop over, do that, get yourself some free yarn. Really good odds at getting some free yarn. And really, I hope y'all do that, because I want to give away stuff, and I want to make it something fun and something I'll definitely want to do again. So I think that's about it as far as that kind of thing goes. I want to talk a little about podcasts. I'm just discovered Sockmatician. He's fun. Nathan, just kind of smitten with him between his beautiful accent, his really, really, really cool knitting, his demeanor, just pretty much everything about him. And I love how angry he gets about grammar. And maybe it's because I'm a child of the South in the United States, where, you know, we don't talk that well. I really worried about that when I started this podcast. Just afraid of either the accent or mispronunciation or this or that. But I try to be fairly aware of grammar, but I'm sure I screw it up here or there. But I enjoyed the heck out of his episode, and he was very knowledgeable about, I mean, what he knows, and he wants to share it, and his passion for double knitting and the color work is so cool. I love intricate patterns. I love one of my favorite things ever to look at is old like Bibles and such for the artwork that went into the pages outside of just, I mean, the writing was beautiful too, but when they would get in there, oh, love it. So that like Norse knots, Celtic knots, and that kind of thing, really, really cool. So I appreciate his love of the double knitting. Really, really like it a lot. He was a fun episode, and I need to go back and watch all of his. Also, I caught Knittorious. They're back. Saw them today. Just while I was writing out my show notes, I watched their newest episode. And I got a shout out on a new little podcast from a woman named Carola, who her podcast is What Makes My Soul Happy. And her podcast isn't just knitting. She's actually pretty new to knitting. She was a longtime crocheter, I believe. But she does all kinds of stuff. Like her very first episode was all about nail varnish. So it was just fun. And she found me on Instagram and said she watched my podcast and really liked it and said she podcasts. So I've been watching hers, and they're short, and she just talks about stuff. And here lately she's obsessed with Stephen West, which, you know, I totally understand that rabbit hole. So yeah, it was really funny, and to hear her give a shout out was pretty cool. Made me grin. So those are podcasts that I've been watching here lately in the last couple of days, because I've been Netflixing instead of YouTube. And my husband and I are going to Salem in less than a month, so I've been watching this horrible series on Netflix called Salem. I think it lasted 2 seasons, and it's horrible, but I can't stop watching it once I've started, so I need to finish that up soon. Let's talk some dolls, because I think that's about it. Just do some doll talk. I'm going to show you the only 2 I think y'all haven't seen as far as my Blythe dolls go. Oh, and funny story before I show you the dolls. So a couple weeks ago, I really straightened up my craft room and like opened it up like you can come in here and not trip over things. And so I've been in here a lot, especially when the AC was broken, because it's cooler in this room than just about any other rooms. So I would come in here and hang out. And my husband walked in one day, and he's standing in there and he's looking around. And when I did the podcast a couple of weeks ago, like with Amberly, and then once before, I think it was my birthday week, I had the camera the other direction, so there was that shelf behind me with the 4 or 5 Blythes sitting on it. My husband looks over at him, and he's like, "Have you always had that many Blythes?" And I don't think I've gotten a new doll in, well, like a year for a Blythe. So I was like, yeah. He's like, "Oh, guess I didn't realize you had that many," which makes me a little nervous. I know he knows how much yarn I have, but it's just very funny that he said that. So let me show you the 2 that I don't think I've introduced y'all to. And the first one up, this is Matilda. She is a Happy Bug custom, and she is very much a little girl. Most of my other dolls, I think, in my mind, they're all about my daughter's age, which she's 25. And I think that way because when my daughter moved to Dallas, she was 19 or 20 when she moved to Dallas, I got very attached to Homer. It's almost like Homer became my daughter by proxy. So in my mind, I treat them all about the same as I would treat my daughter. So I tend to think of them all as little tomboys that are about 25. But little Miss Thing right here, I mean, between her face carvings and everything, she's just such a sweet little girl. So when I got her, I was like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? Because then I needed to buy cutesy girly clothes. And I did have some cutesy stuff that I could never say no to. And I'd bought several things at BlytheCon Seattle that were really, really girly. And they seemed somewhat out of place sometimes on Homer. So when I got her, she was the one to wear all of the cool little girly cutesy bows and teddy bears and stuff. So she's got some really neat chips. Rainbow on her eyes. And she's on what they call a tilt neck licka body, so her head's a little wobbly. Dark chips. And these bright blue, but it's to give them that dolly look, and it's cute. I love it on her. It's perfect for her. And she's wearing a Woolly Rockers chevron sweater, which she has these patterns released for you to do. But I'd so much rather buy it than knit it. That is horrible to say. And then this little lady is my Day of the Dead doll. So her name is Isabella. She's the oldest doll in my collection. She's an Ashton Drake Blythe. That is the American version of it. And they're quite a bit cheaper base dolls than the Blythe dolls because they're manufactured here in the United States. They're easier to get a hold of, all those kinds of things. But she was customized by my friend Sandra. And Sandra lives in Florida, and she does, well, she hasn't been doing them much lately because she realized she was affecting her health with all of the stuff in the air, but she did a lot of epoxy buildups on dolls and Blythes, and I mean some crazy things. But she did these Day of the Deads, and I had to have one. So this is Miss Isabella. I think that's all of, I think you've met pretty much all my Blythes now. You'll notice my new haircut. It was cut last week, and it was in the video. I had already cut it, but I didn't feel like styling it like this last week. And I'm waiting on hair color to come in to make it crazy, and I ordered intense red or something like intense orange. So it's going to be like a crazy orangey. So I need to do something with this. I get very freaked out when my hair looks too normal. So I usually do this kind of thing myself, can just shave the sides myself. But I realized this last time around, I went to do it. I took my glasses off so that I could get everywhere, and then realized I can't see well enough. So I had to go see my friend Audra and have her shave my head. And she laughed at me. And then she told me she hands stuff to her kids all the time to have them read them to her. So she understood where I was coming from. And I think that's it, guys. I'd kill for a Coke right now, but there's not any in the house, which is a good thing. But y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all next week.